Just take a deep breath.
I still can't believe Dad's dead. This should have been his moment.
But now it's yours. You just need to decide what you're gonna do with it.
Where do I start? I'm just not sure I'm ready.
We weren't ready to fall out of the sky on Habitat 7, but we survived that.
Right. So, always keep a jump jet handy.
All stasis personnel report to duty stations.
I just updated the charts.
She'll want to see crew reassignments first. Start with non-essential personnel.
Engineering reports the Nexus coupling is underway.
Okay, folks. This is what we've been waiting for. Let your teams know the docking procedures are now.
Medbay, please go out of the cabin.
It'll be nice to see some friendly faces this time.
The Nexus runs a support crew. Just enough to finish building the station and provide safe harbor for the Arks.
Means we can start waking our people up.
They built a bar, right? Gotta have champagne for the welcome party.
You're expecting one?
After what we've been through, I could use a buzz.
We all could.
Yeah. Rough ride so far.
We'll bounce back. Real food and a shower are just ahead. Here we are.
Okay, let's see what this new Citadel experience is like.
I don't see any champagne.
Where is everybody?
Looks like everything's still
Well, this
under
can't be
construction.
It's like everything's on standby.
If it's a surprise party, they're doing an awfully good job of it.
Standard Nexus computer terminal
We
designed
can see
to
what the
interface-
VI has to say.
Plants are still alive.
It's like they didn't finish building it.
Terrarium, designed for use in hydroponics and the cultivation of plant life.
Hello?
Hydroponic sensors for the growth and cultivation of plant life on the station.
This place should be packed with people.
Hi, Avina.
Welcome to the Nexus, gateway to Andromeda. I'm Avina, a virtual intelligence designed to assist you with immigration.
Can you tell us where the welcome party is hiding?
I'm sorry, my code is limited to information and simple interaction simulations. Please select from the following pre-programmed responses.
What can you tell me about the Andromeda galaxy?
Here in Andromeda, you are over 2 million light-years away from the Milky Way galaxy. This is the furthest any life form has ever traveled outside our home system, making you a brave pioneer indeed. The Nexus itself is located in a region known as the Helios Cluster. Here, you and thousands of your fellow colonists will fulfill your dreams of settling a new home. Fortune awaits.
What year is it?
The current year is 2819. After spending over 600 years in stasis, it's normal to feel disoriented or confused upon arrival. Our helpful medical staff can assist with any physical or psychological after effects you may be experiencing.
Well, she's got the date right, at least.
So where is everyone? What is the Nexus?
The Nexus serves as the central hub for the Andromeda Initiative's colonization efforts. It is the first destination for all colonists upon their arrival in the new galaxy. Please enjoy the many venues the Nexus has to offer. As the station expands, it will one day serve as the seat of government for Milky Way colonists. Providing a safe, stable, and prosperous environment is our primary goal.
Not from the looks of it.
How does the immigration process work?
We ask that you submit to a brief medical exam to ensure your health and well-being after making such a long journey. Once you've been cleared, our colonization experts will assist you in finding your new home. Please be mindful of the queue. Thousands of eager colonists like you are waiting to begin their new life in Andromeda.
Where? Place is deserted.
Where do colonists live?
Once you've cleared immigration, our helpful staff will assist you in choosing the home world of your dreams. Will it be the tropical paradise of Habitat 7, the gentle rolling hills of Habitat 3, or perhaps the mysterious twilight world of Habitat 5? Whichever you choose, rest assured our Pathfinders have carefully vetted all colony worlds to ensure your security and prosperity.
Oh boy.
Habitat 7. That's where we landed. She's way out of date.
That's all.
It has been my pleasure. Please see one of our helpful immigration staff for further assistance. And welcome to your new home in Andromeda, where the brightest star is you. Current wait time for immigration processing is unknown error.
Right. That was helpful.
Hi there. We're from Hyperion, and wondering where everybody went.
Did he hear you?
Did you say an Ark? Yeah, we just got in.
And for what it's worth, your VI over there could use an update.
But we thought you were all dead.
What?
Or captured, or lost in dark space, or...
But you're here. You have no idea how much this means.
I don't believe it. I'm Tyrion Kandros. I lead our militia on the Nexus.
I'm Scott Ryder. This is Cora Harper and Liam Costa, part of the Pathfinder team.
I'm sorry for the confusion. Our sensors told us an Ark had arrived, but Helios is notorious for scrambling equipment. We thought you were just another malfunction.
But aren't you expecting us?
You're the first Ark we've seen. After a year of waiting and no sign of the others, we shuttered this area and stopped looking.
You've been stranded for a whole year?
Longer. I'll fill you in on the way to Op Center. Everything that could go wrong with our plan has. We arrived 14 months ago. Right away, we hit a band of dark energy that knocked us off course.
We're familiar with it.
Then you'll know why we call it the Scourge. We lost whole sections of the station. A lot of people died. No power, no food. The chaos went on for months. It finally led to armed rebellion. When order was restored, the insurgents were banished. Exiles, we call them.
Are things back to normal?
Not even close. But you're here now, so maybe the worst is over.
No word from the other Pathfinders?
No word from anyone, period.
Any threats from the locals?
So far, we've stayed hidden. We're in no shape to deal with an attack.
We had a first contact situation on Habitat 7. Whole thing went south. They tried to kill us.
That wasn't first contact. We know about them. Those aliens are going to be a real problem.
This day just keeps getting better.
We're here.
You guys go ahead. I'll check out the security situation.
You should know our command structure has been fractured. Some of us are filling in for leaders who died.
Is it true?
They said drop everything and report for duty.
And no one was expecting an Ark to finally show up.
Docking procedures are green across the board.
Stand by to merge Hyperion power into the grid.
the crew of the Hyperion.
Good luck.
I'm Jaren Tan, director of the initiative. You have no idea how much your arrival means to us.
We've heard about what happened, and we're ready to help.
We could use any supplies you have. Food, water, we're short on everything.
This is Foster Addison. She oversees colonial affairs. Where's the Pathfinder?
You're looking at him.
You're not Alec Ryder.
My father's dead. He made me his successor.
Alec is dead. Please understand, the entire initiative is at risk. None of the Golden Worlds panned out. They're a bust, and there's been no word from the other arcs.
What happened to them?
Unknown. Our supplies are nearly depleted. Rationing bought us some time, but even that's running out.
We need to find more resources, but that takes people, and we can't wake them up.
Until they have somewhere to live. A golden world.
Now more than ever, we need a Pathfinder.
It now falls to you, Ryder. Are you up to the task?
You're in trouble here. I'd say you need any help you can get.
We need qualified help.
That's no way to treat a guest. I'm Nak Morkesh, superintendent of this station. Hope they haven't scared you off already.
It's nothing personal, but now isn't the time for on-the-job training.
At least the Pathfinder here seems willing to try. We could use a fresh perspective.
You've heard my concerns. I'll leave you to it.
We're all feeling the pressure. Let's have a private word in my office, Ryder. We'll discuss giving you a scout ship. I'm happy to work out the details with your associate.
Welcome to the Nexus.
Thank you for standing up for me there.
Hope's in short supply here. What little we can find should have a chance.
Ma'am, the Hyperion's core is now online.
Let me show you something. An hour ago, that was all dark. But with the power from your ship, you're keeping the lights on. You have my vote.
And when the power runs out?
You'd best go talk to Director Tan. Make sure that doesn't happen. And don't be shy. Come see me when you have a chance.
Select a mission and press X to track that mission and make it show as that on your compass. The most critical missions are found under Priority Ops, which is this one. Speak with Tam in the Pathfinder headquarters. May not be essential to the initiative's survival, but every little bit helps. Speak with Tan, Kesh, Kandros, and Addison. The Nexus has many moving parts and departments. To get a full lay of the land, get to know the various leaders and important personnel stationed there. As you explore Andromeda, the allies, enemies, and choices you make will have a significant impact on the future of Helios, and those who call the cluster home. The Helios cluster is nothing like the initiative expected. The Pathfinder faces terrible dangers and unimaginable wonders in the search for a safe place to call home. During your trial by fire on Habitat 7, you tried to initiate peaceful first contact with the aliens you met despite their hostility, explored an alien laboratory, found a cave full of plant life that survived from the planet's Golden World era, discovered alien shuttlecraft of unknown origin, rescued Greer from his captors, expressed doubts about accepting the role of Pathfinder. The Pathfinder is more than a title. Like everyone else in the initiative, Ryder must decide who to become in the new frontier of Helios. You still mourn the loss of your father, Alec, a man you loved and respected. You hope you'd have made him proud as Pathfinder. Assigned as a military attaché to the Citadel in the late 2160s, Alec became interested in artificial intelligence. Contacted by the Andromeda Initiative, Alec found a sponsor to help complete his work. On the product of that research, assisting not only the initiative but Alec's new role as Pathfinder. Soon after our arrival in Andromeda in 2819, Alec Ryder died during the operations on Habitat 7. Despite Director Tan's reluctance to share them, the Nexus retains records of the so-called Nexus Uprising in the early months of the station's arrival. The damage caused by the Scourge killed members of the senior leadership. New individuals had to step in to fill these roles. However, with hydroponics damaged and no habitable planets available, supplies were stretched to the crisis point. Dissent turned to open rebellion against this new leadership. With the Nexus threatened, Krogan work crews were asked to provide military support against the rebels, now led by Head of Security Sloan Kelly, in return for political representation. The Krogan were ultimately successful, and the rebels were exiled from the Nexus. These exiles remain a concern for the Nexus leadership to this day. The majority of Krogan personnel also left the Nexus soon afterwards. Director Tan has declined to provide details or fill in gaps in the official record. Garson was one of humanity's wealthiest. Garson began the long journey to Andromeda aboard the support hub Nexus. Unfortunately, she would never live to see her dream realized. She died aboard the Nexus when it sustained severe damage from the Scourge upon first arriving in the Helios cluster. People and places aboard the Nexus space station, nerve center of the Initiative's operations. Intended as a safe anchorage, embassy, and financial center, the Nexus is a vast space station sent ahead of the main ARC fleet. It traveled to Andromeda in an incomplete state to reduce fuel demands, with construction planned to be completed within a standard year after arrival. However, syncing with Nexus databases reveal that damage from the Scourge has set the timetable back significantly. Returning ARCs anchor at the Nexus's central wheel, integrating their power grid and offloading colonists for orientation and temporary housing before deployment to outposts. The Nexus collates and manages the resources which form the basis of the Initiative's economy, coordinates scientific research and defense, and acts as headquarters for Pathfinder teams. Once outposts are established, the Nexus will become the permanent seat of government for the Initiative. 15.47 kilometers long, vane width, widest point 4.9 kilometers, anchorage wheel diameter 5.3, gross weight 2.2 billion metric tons, max population when complete 27 million? As the base of operations for the Andromeda Initiative, the Nexus leadership was always intended to be split between the Initiative proper, station operations, and colonial administration. Jean Garson planned to retain an honorary role, electing the Asari matriarch Nuara as Initiative Director. Unfortunately, both Garson and matriarch Nuara are listed as deceased, along with many of Nuara's senior staff. The current director of the Initiative, Jaron Tan, was eighth in line of succession. Today, Director Tan remains officially in charge of Initiative operations and Pathfinder teams. Foster Addison retains her post as Director of Colonial Affairs, managing colonists and outpost deployments. The Nexus itself is administered by Superintendent Nakmor Kesh, who also oversees construction efforts. In the wake of the Ket attacks, Tyrion Kandros emerged as leader of a de facto volunteer militia that has taken over station security. Though technically a civilian, Kandros is counted among the Nexus leadership. And of course, all Turians are trained for military combat by like a young age, so... Oh geez. Time for more database. Krogan culture was irrevocably changed by the Genophage. A society built on clan pride, conquest, and enduring any challenge could not survive the prospect of a quiet extinction. In the Milky Way, the Krogan are a scattered and fatalistic people. Believing the genophage will never be cured, many subscribe to the idea of kill, pillage, and be selfish, for tomorrow we die. Krogan who don't become wandering mercenaries often live within clans with histories that stretch back thousands of years. Others organize under the banner of a single warlord, or into a krant of like-minded warriors. The history and tradition of a Krogan clan are maintained by respected shamans who prove their worth through grueling and secretive initiations. Female Krogan capable of producing offspring are valuable commodities. Most females live in separate camps, where they raise children until they are old enough to face Tuchanka's dangers. Krogan are exceptionally hardy, having evolved in a crucible of lethal conditions and monstrous predators. 240-degree vision, normally a feature of prey animals, give Krogan a broad awareness of their environment and approaching enemies. Their tough hides can withstand stabbings and gunfire, and multiple redundant organs allow them to survive internal injuries. An electroconductive secondary circulatory system, rather than a central nervous system, make Krogan almost impossible to paralyze, while the hump on their back stores valuable water and fats. The extremely high birth rate of Krogan, in response to Tuchanka's harsh environment, once saw them overrun gentler worlds within a few decades. The genophage has reduced live births to a relative handful. Krogan physiology is also highly resistant to radioactive or toxic environments. This allows them to live comfortably on planets hostile to other life. Initiative scientists have studied Krogan cellular regeneration while developing first-in-colonist radiation treatments. A degree in Krogan history was apparently once a joke in academic circles, but excavations on Tuchanka show that ancient Krogan had a thriving and impressive civilization. Unfortunately, their technological advances ran afoul of Krogan aggressive instincts. Once the Krogan entered the Atomic Age, they didn't hesitate to deploy nuclear weapons on Tuchanka, devastating the surface and reducing their people to scattered warring bands. The Solarians technologically and culturally uplifted the Krogan, in return for their service against the Rachni who were terrorizing Citadel space. Capable of surviving the harsh environments the Rachni preferred, Krogan units drove the Rachni to extinction, and were hailed as heroes. They were granted gentler worlds to colonize, but their rapid breeding meant the Krogan soon overran them and threatened neighboring species. The resulting Krogan rebellions lasted almost a century, until the Turians deployed the genophage bioweapon. Unable to breed reinforcements, the Krogan people fell into decline. The Krogan homeworld Tuchanka is one of the harshest in the Milky Way, honing the Krogan into a physically powerful, aggressive, and adaptive species. Once considered heroes after the Rachni Wars, Krogan expansion made them a threat to the galaxy, until the Turians and Solarians used the controversial genophage to quell their numbers. Several authorities questioned including the Krogan in the Andromeda Initiative, given their history. Invitations were extended to several clans, particularly those who did not take part in the Krogan rebellions, and their assistance eventually proved invaluable in building the Nexus. Colonist interviews show that many Krogan see the initiative as a chance to reinvent their people. The Krogan are considered a dying species in the Milky Way, as the genophage means only 1 in 1,000 Krogan pregnancies succeeds. In recent years, Krogan have shown signs of adapting to the genophage, as they have to many other threats. The fortunes of Solarian political dynasties dominate their early history. Most students require VI assistance to trace the complex interplay of trade wars, intrigues, assassinations, joint scientific discoveries, and treaties that created the current political climate. Some of the most famous, such as the 10 Traders' War, have been immortalized in long-running extranet dramas. The Solarians were the second species to discover the Citadel space station that serves as the political heart of the Milky Way, making first contact with the Asari and becoming founding members of the Citadel Council. Their intelligence gathering proved vital during the Krogan rebellions, and later led to the creation of the genophage bioweapon intended as a deterrent. Its deployment by the Turians remains controversial to this day. The Solarian Special Task Group has played a secretive but vital role in galactic history. Specializing in information gathering and covert missions, it's believed that STG operatives have ended civil wars before they began. The Solarians are a warm-blooded amphibious species from the Milky Way planet of Surkesh. Naturally fast metabolisms mean that Solarians live intense but short lives of less than 40 years. Their quick intellect and photographic memory makes them gifted scientists and engineers, and the Solarian Union is renowned for its technological advances, as well as its secrecy and intelligence gathering. Tension between Solarians and the Krogan have lingered for centuries. Solarian scientists were responsible for creating the genophage that devastated the Krogan population and ended the Krogan rebellions. Almost 90% of the Solarian species is male. Political power is centered in Dalatrases, rare Solarian females who negotiate the fertilization of eggs and the strategic alliances that result. Many Solarian females chose to join the Andromeda Initiative as civilians, a significant break in Solarian tradition. In the Milky Way, the Solarian Union is dominated by the rare Solarian females known as Dalatrases, who negotiate the complex web of Solarian politics on behalf of the regions they govern. Solarians belong to vast clans, whose interrelation and current political status must be painstakingly tracked. Clans are divided into concentric circles of relatives, those closest are in the first circle, which may be up to 100 members, and circles increase exponentially outward. This is considered confusing by other organic species, though it is mathematically straightforward. Solarians do not have a concept of romantic love. The fertilization of eggs is a political act, since the lineage of any resulting females has a strong impact on society, and only occurs after months or even years of negotiations. Multiple Solarian females opted to join the Andromeda Initiative as civilians. Renegotiation of a dozen political dynasties in the Solarian Union was ongoing when we departed. Solarians are renowned for their high-speed metabolism, allowing them to function on 1 hour of sleep a day. Compared to most species, Solarians think and act quickly, processing both emotional and biochemical changes at a rapid pace. A Solarian workday traditionally accommodates 5 or 6 small high-protein meals to match. However, Solarians also have a comparatively short lifespan of roughly 40 years. Solarians are haplodiploid egg-laying amphibians. Unfertilized eggs hatch males. Fertilized eggs hatch females. A Solarian female typically lays a clutch of dozens of eggs once a year in environmentally controlled hatching pools. Once hatched, young Solarians imprint on their parents, ensuring dynastic loyalty through generations. Their large families were a contributing factor to the Solarians developing photographic memories, enabling them to recognize hundreds of relatives. Solarians rarely forget a fact, face, or grudge. A popular saying suggests, making a Solarian enemy in the morning makes 1,000 by evening. Turian culture is founded on public service and personal accountability. The Turian military is the center of their society, functioning as a public works organization, as well as an armed defense force. Citizenship is conferred once Turians have completed boot camp, begun on their 15th birthday, and promotion through the 27 citizenship tiers is judged on individual merit. At the top are the Primarchs, who lead colonization clusters. Their inclination to military service and social trends means few Turians pursue entrepreneurial careers, making the Turian economy more vulnerable than most. The support of clients like the Volus makes up for this deficiency. Turians in the Andromeda Initiative operate outside a comfortable hierarchy. Interviews with prospective Turian colonists indicate some are seeking this very freedom to forge their own destiny. Other colonists believe Turian selfishness and civic structure will be vital to the initiative's success. Renowned as men of action, the Turians have a militaristic culture revolving around public service. Turians earned their place in galactic society after their actions in ending the Krogan rebellions. They subsequently served as the peacekeeping arm of the Citadel Council and commanded the largest fleet in the Milky Way. Turian society once relied on client species like the Volus to build their economy and trade. In the Andromeda Initiative, the military training all Turians undergo allows them to fill many vital civic and security roles, but many have also enrolled for entrepreneurial or diplomatic training to be better-rounded colonists. Galactic events and their military doctrine have left lingering resentment between Turians and some species. The Turians were responsible for deploying the genophage against the Krogan, and misunderstandings with humans led to the First Contact War, though humans and Turians have since become cordial, if not close, allies. Turians evolved on Palaven, a Milky Way world with a weak magnetic field that leaves it vulnerable to solar radiation. Most life on Palaven has a protective, metal-rich exoskeleton as a natural defense. The thick, plate-like skin of a Turian protects her against some long-term radiation, but does not defend against projectiles or energy weapons. Unlike most sapient species in the Milky Way, Turians are a dextroprotein species, meaning that food for a livoprotein species like a sauri or humans can cause dangerous allergic reactions, and vice versa. The only other known sapient dextro species is the Quarians. As well as Palaven flora, Turian scientists with the Andromeda Initiative paid the Quarian migrant fleet handsomely for plants and fungi that were specially developed to thrive in hydroponic conditions. Before joining the Citadel Council that governs much of the Milky Way, the Turian hierarchy was a formidable power with numerous client species supporting its powerful military. Rapid expansion from Palaven later led to problems with outlying colonists, where isolation and xenophobia led to infighting in what was termed the Unification War. The Turians made first contact with the Citadel around 700 CE, when the Krogan rebellions were raging. When the Krogan devastated Turian colonies, the Turians responded by unleashing the Solarian-developed genophage against the Krogan. 200 years later, the Turians were invited to join the Citadel Council. In 2157, human explorers attempted to activate a mass relay, were attacked by Turian forces as unauthorized relay activation was strictly illegal. The resulting conflict, the First Contact War, saw the human colony of Shangxi occupied by the Turians before the Citadel Council negotiated a peace. The Andromeda Galaxy is home to many new intelligent species. On arrival in the Helix Cluster, ground teams have sighted strange structures and technology in multiple locations. This technology appears to be inactive, or performing functions that are not fully understood. Whatever its purpose, even cursory scans show this technology is highly advanced and constructed of unknown materials. Alec Ryder and I developed a means to interface with this technology, which he believed was causing the violent weather conditions on Habitat 7. Though he did not survive to develop his theory, the structure we activated appears to be a form of atmosphere processor. After our interface, Habitat 7's ecology showed a degree of improvement. The energy cloud hampering the Hyperion was diminished. With no communication from the Nexus or sister arcs upon arrival in the Helix Cluster, the Hyperion approached Habitat 7 to begin survey and settlement operations as soon as possible, but even visual assessments show that the planet was no longer viable. Habitat 7 is now a storm-wrecked world with an unbreathable argon-nitrogen atmosphere. Intense magnetic activity in unknown metallic elements interface with the storms, causing it. The investigating Pathfinder team encountered hostile alien life and strange technology on the surface. Reactivating this technology caused a noticeable change in the conditions of Habitat 7. However, the planet is still unsuitable for settlement, and the resulting activation ultimately claimed the life of Alec Ryder, the human Pathfinder. Communications have always been a concern for interstellar colonists. Trade, defense, and political representation depend on reliable lines of communication. The most sophisticated method is quantum entanglement communication. This utilizes a pair of particles that are linked on a quantum level. Any effect on one particle is mirrored instantaneously by the other, regardless of the distance between. Pathfinder implants use miniaturized QECs to remain in contact with their AI partners. However, manufacturing these particle pairs is a delicate and difficult process, especially with resources limited in Helios. Long-term, the Andromeda Initiative plans to establish a comm relay network, transmitting data between buoys linked by mass-free corridors of space. The Scourge has hampered these efforts. In the meantime, Initiative starships act like maritime and maritime mail packets, carrying secure data packages that transmit to approved colony receivers once they are in range. The transmissions are limited by the ship's data storage and the capacity of receivers, but improvements are ongoing. Okay. At least we got the lights on.
You're going to be very
I'll just
good
organize
friends.
this as it comes in and send
We'll
it
get
your
you
way.
all fixed up and ready
You
to
know
go
what
in
the
no
priority
time.
needs are anyway.
As soon as we
Thank
hook you up to all that juicy, juicy power.
This is Nexus Control to Hyperion.
No, it isn't
It's good to have you here.
What choice do we have? How the hell
Excellent.
should I
Let's
know?
go over the docking checklist, shall
Spender,
we?
you have a job. If you want to keep it, do it. God damn it. All right, what happened?
To who?
To whom? And your goddamn father. Sorry, my face is tired from dealing with everything. And right now, I just want to know what happened with Alec.
In the moment, it saved my life. But it seems my father meant for me to get the role eventually.
It isn't hereditary. If we wanted an inbred monarchy, we could have left half our gene stock back home. Not home. The Milky Way. This is home. This mess. We don't have a lot of options, Ryder. Maybe you'll prove your father right. After 14 months of failed colonization, forgive me if I don't hold my breath.
How do you fit into the Nexus leadership?
I oversee the actual settlement effort. As the number of outposts is currently less than ideal, my influence is limited. As Tan is quick to remind me. Left a perfectly adequate career as a chief officer. Provincial capital, too. Only a new galaxy could pull me away. And here we are, idling.
You called my father Alec. No one does that.
A lot of us joined the initiative because of his vision. What he shared of it, anyway.
Were you friends? Or...
I'm not your new mother, if that's what you're asking. Or his friend. He hated that I didn't use his title. But no one's a pathfinder until they've path-found something. Much like a colonial director without colonies.
You've had no colony successes in over a year. How many tries is that?
Less than you'd think. The Scourge, spoiled worlds, exiles, hostiles. We can't just plop down an outpost and expect picket fences. We need the Pathfinder and Sam to scout, evaluate, and inspire. The initiative promised a goal. Andromeda has not cooperated.
And if it had?
Beautiful utopian horseshit. Colonies that produce and support each other. The Nexus as Citadel. Not headed by Tan. Or even me.
There must be some kind of plan for encountering hostile aliens. We can't have been that naive.
We expected life. not an enemy that refuses to talk. They don't attack, they disinfect. We're nothing until we're bacteria. Sorry, 14 months and you stoop to poetry. That's how bad it is. Not sure who started it, but we're calling them Ket. Kandros will know more. Maybe too much.
You don't trust him?
I trust him to defend us. I do not trust a rising military influence in a supposedly civilian initiative. We came here to make history, Ryder, not repeat it. Ugh, goddamn poetry.
There's also the strange technology. Has anyone studied that?
We've tried. Not me. The brains in research. They're supposed to know their business. The current excuse? The tech we dug up on Mars was more advanced, but it was plug and go. The tech here thinks different? I don't know. We've mostly avoided it. And from what the Hyperion logs say about Alec, maybe that's good.
Excuse me, Director Addison.
Ryder?
It's Pathfinder.
Ryder, we're starving here. If we don't get a foundation of outposts to feed the initiative, we might as well be 600 years dead. Alec promised a lot. None of it panned out. That's what you're up against. Why people won't trust you. Why I don't trust you. Prove me wrong.
During your trial by fire on Habitat 7, you tried to... I already read that. Previous to the initiative, Foster Addison was the Chief Operations Officer for a provincial capital. She stated in her screening interviews that she preferred the position because it was the highest non-elected municipal office. It carried responsibility without requiring a public face. Foster was asked to head colonial affairs early during the initiative training. She accepted after being assured that it was temporary. After arrival, Outpost would appoint a council, and she could be obscure on a new world. In the meantime, she would remain senior advisor to Gian Garson. Unfortunately, Garson died in the Nexus's initial Scourge at Impact to be replaced by Director Tan. During the rebuilding, Colonial Director Addison had no colonial affairs to direct. That limited the influence she wielded and increased the scrutiny demanded. She has expressed frustration at the open-ended nature of her position and the ongoing need for statements about the status or lack of outposts. Though she remains eminently capable, it appears to be exactly the job she didn't want. Basically, you got a job to do, but you can't do your job. So it's like, what do you do then? According to Nexus officials, the aliens encountered on Habitat 7 are known as the Ket, a species that has proven hostile in every reported encounter. Little is known about them or their motives. The Ket possess technology and weapons at least on par with the Initiatives, and have been responsible for the death or capture of many Initiative personnel. The only commonality is that the Ket have a clear interest in the strange structures and technology seen on Habitat 7, and as we now know, on several worlds in the Helios cluster. Scouts and prospecting teams trying to investigate this technology are invariably attacked by the Ket, who take any scans or research materials by force. Why the Ket have such an interest in this technology is unknown, but the Nexus has issued warning bulletins to all off-station teams to avoid these sites for their own safety. Okay then.
Report to the docking area at once.
Pretty.
This is the planet where we landed. Habitat 7. It wasn't even close to livable.
That's been true of every world we've found. Ryder, we were discussing your next expedition.
I thought it didn't measure up as Pathfinder.
Director Addison keeps her own counsel. I keep mine.
And when you disagree?
I oversee the entire initiative, and I have decided to give you a chance to prove yourself. To that end, the Scourge dealt us a serious blow. Whatever it is, our scientists theorize it's not natural.
An artificial energy cloud?
It wasn't here when we left the Milky Way, yet it rendered all the golden worlds unlivable. Then there's the aliens you ran into, the Ket. They're obsessed with alien structures we found scattered around the cluster. They'll do anything to prevent others from accessing them. It seems murder isn't exclusive to the Milky Way. And now the challenge is to settle a world in spite of all that. This one here. Eos.
How?
You need to increase the viability of the planet so we can establish an outpost. Then we can bring more colonists out of stasis. The more colonists we have, the more resources we can gather to support the Nexus. Everything depends on it. There are 6 worlds we hope to settle.
Okay, but you said every planet you found is unlivable. So, how do I...
A good Pathfinder would relish the challenge of solving it.
Right. I think I should go check on things.
And if I fail, I guess it's no sweat off your back, right? You'll just look for another Pathfinder?
Placing bets on people is part of my job. Some of them pay off. Others...
The way I see it, you need me. If I pull this off, maybe you'll look like the leader you pretend to be.
But first, you have to succeed at being the Pathfinder you pretend to be.
Where's my ship?
They're prepping it now in the docking bay. The coordinates for Eos will be in the computer. And when you have a moment, we should discuss the missing arcs.
I was wondering about that. Ah!
Something wrong?
Ryder, please see me and Sam Node on the Hyperion. Your implant needs attention, and we need to discuss a confidential matter.
No, I'm fine.
Tempest crew should report to the docking area.
Ryder, you may have a less than flattering view of me, but I want to express my condolences for your father.
I appreciate it.
I didn't know him very well, although I understand he played a key role in planning the initiative. I'm sure he'd be concerned that we still have several arcs missing.
Any idea where they went?
Nothing certain, but tens of thousands of colonists are unaccounted for. It paints the initiative in an unflattering light. Did you have some other business?
It sounds like the Nexus has had a rough time of it.
Publicly, I would say we're more than up for the challenge. Privately, I can tell you, it's been a disaster. The Scourge killed hundreds, many of them our senior leadership. Even the founder of the initiative, Gian Garson, is dead.
How did Gene Garson die?
With the rest of the leadership, when the Nexus hit the Scourge, a large wing of stasis pods was destroyed. They were killed instantly. These people traveled 600 years and died before they even woke up. Gian Garson never glimpsed Helios. She never saw her vision realized.
Cantor's mentioned something about hitting the Scourge. How did it play out?
Criminal elements took advantage of the emergency and preyed on people's fears. An uprising followed. We had no choice but to turn to the Krogan to deal with them. They crushed the mutiny and the criminals were banished. Exiles, we call them. I doubt we've heard the last of them. They're led by an outlaw, Sloane Kelly. She used to be one of ours.
Who is this Sloane Kelly?
She was head of security on the Nexus. She opposed the uprising at first, but eventually turned traitor and joined them. Misguided sympathy for the plight of the common citizen? Nonsense. They posed a direct threat to our existence.
There don't seem to be many Krogan around.
Good riddance. The Krogan demanded a greater say in political matters. The last place you want them involved. Their muscle, nothing more. Good for fighting and lifting heavy objects. When they didn't get what they wanted, they left.
Why don't you like the Krogan?
It's common knowledge that they are a violent, ignorant species. Long ago, they waged nuclear war on one another. Their planet was decimated. My people tried to uplift them, but the Krogan could never tame their worst instincts. What if they bring their tempers to Andromeda? We'll all be dead.
What more can you tell me about the initiative?
It represents the greatest migration ever attempted. No one had ventured beyond the Milky Way before. We've all left home in search of freedom, fortune, perhaps a new beginning. We are the bravest souls each species has to offer. I hope the Nexus will serve as the seat of government for us all.
What do you know about the early days of the initiative?
As most everyone knows, Jean Garson's vision made it happen. She was an entrepreneur on Earth. Wealthy. Young for a human. Garson had the idea for the initiative in the early 2170s, I believe. Many thought leaving the Milky Way was impossible. But she persevered. And as with most great ideas, the doubters were wrong.
Why do you think most people came?
There are thousands of reasons, one for every colonist here. What does any pilgrim seek? Usually, happiness. Finding the thing that eludes them, the thing to fulfill them. While we cannot promise they will find it, we can facilitate the search.
It looks like a melting pot around here.
The Nexus is home to several initiative species. Many came ahead of the Arks. The hope is that this station will one day serve as the governing body in Andromeda. Though I'm not sure what they were thinking, lumping Krogan into the mix. As a Solarian, my kind tend to have a low opinion of them. Nothing I've seen here has changed that.
What do I need to consider in making a planet viable?
Assuming the planet supports life, an outpost is critical. People like a roof over their heads, and you'll want to eliminate any hostile threats. Whether that's the cat or other terrors lurking in Helios, colonists being murdered on sight can be discouraging. Also, scouting and mapping terrain is a priority for any Pathfinder. And don't forget forward stations. You'll want those.
What can you tell me about forward stations?
I was afraid you'd ask. It's mostly what the engineers tell me. A forward station allows mining, equipment repairs, and resupply for field teams. I mean, who wouldn't want that? But seeing as how every colonization effort has failed, it's just theory at the moment. You get to test it out, Ryder.
As director of the initiative, are you in charge around here or what?
If the others would allow me. They don't see me as the rightful successor.
So how does anything get done?
In theory, Kesh handles the Nexus's physical operations, Kandros runs the militia, and Addison manages colonial affairs. I oversee all of it. In practice, we argue, debate, and yell at each other until a decision is made. If we're lucky. It is maddening.
What's their problem with you?
I am not Gian Garson. Our founder was charismatic, eccentric, larger than life. Traits I cannot hope to mimic. She and her inner circle perished in the Scourge, some at the hands of the Exiles, some never made it out of stasis. I was deputy assistant for revenue management. Then all 7 leaders above me died. I was next in line for the role.
So, you're an accountant?
Don't let that fool you. We are all capable of more than we know. When I was young, I was fascinated by the idea of exploring space. Life had its detours, and I went a different direction. Then I heard about the initiative, and saw my chance to try the path not taken. While I may not be setting foot on new worlds, my authority can ensure that you do.
Right. Sorry. Any more information you can give me on the missing Arks?
No, and that is the distressing part. The Asari, Turian, and Solarian Arks are completely unaccounted for. If they had the same problems with the Scourge that we did, I fear the worst. Should you find any clues, please investigate. Without the other Arks, the promise of the initiative can never be fulfilled.
Are there any other Arks we should expect?
We had hoped Quarians would be part of the first wave. But before departure in 2185, we got word they had technical problems with their ship. It seems they're also bringing along Drell, Hanar, and other species as well. Managing all of their biological needs caused complications. We won't see them for some time to come.
That's all. Thanks for your time.
Of course, as you pointed out, we need each other. Our futures depend on each other's success.
Andromeda Initiative Director Jaron Tan is a replacement leader for those who died in the Scourge disaster. Personnel records indicate he was the Nexus's Deputy Director for Revenue Management when the Arks departed the Milky Way in 2185. However, upon arrival in the Helios cluster, the disastrous encounter with the Scourge led to substantial loss of life among the senior leadership. The line of succession eventually fell to Tan as the next in line for overall director, much to the apparent consternation of certain Nexus personnel. Born on Surkesh, Tan's application to the initiative lists his previous work experience as Senior Consultant, Advanced Matrix-based Accounting, with hobbies in model shipbuilding and travel, someday. When queried if he had any prejudices that would affect his ability to serve the initiative, his answer was blank. However, careful data forensics reveal his original reply was, "Wait, you're letting Krogan come along?" Today, Director Tan has official oversight of initiative operations and strategy, and effective supervision of Pathfinder teams. The Scourge is the colloquial term for a huge and extremely dangerous interstellar phenomenon sighted across much of the Helios cluster. It appears to be a cloud spreading in tendrils that affect planets and surrounding space, destroying starships that attempt to pass through or near it. Early study of the Scourge has been difficult, and it does not match any previously known stellar body, leading to many wild theories about its nature. Given the problems in observation and the Scourge's unaccounted effects on gravity, some have even suggested it is a dark energy phenomenon in the literal sense, meaning a form of energy that has no electromagnetic interaction and thus cannot be detected, hence dark, yet has strong negative pressure, causing expansive effects on a cosmic scale. Though the Scourge's characteristics don't match our current understanding of dark energy, these theories persist while further observations are taken. No long-range data showed any signs of the Scourge before departure to the Helios cluster. Nexus scientists suggest it must have appeared in the intervening centuries while the Arks traveled to Andromeda. One of the Scourge's more interesting characteristics is that it appears artificial. Its origin point is yet to be determined, but the pattern of the tendrils and the composition of the cloud could not have been caused by any celestial event known to astrophysics. Investigations are ongoing, though, slowed by the deadly conditions created by the Scourge. Ark Parchero is the Andromeda Initiative's designated vessel for transporting Solarian colonists to the new galaxy. Mirroring the design of its human counterpart, Hyperion Ark Parchero can accommodate 20,000 passengers and crew in cryogenic stasis. Parchero's development was plagued by early delays and disagreements between its senior crew and the initiative's design team. The Solarian penchant for constantly pushing the boundaries of technology was often at odds with the realities of budgets and time constraints. At one point, it was calculated that if every vital and necessary improvement suggested by the Solarian contingent was incorporated onto the Parchero's design, its launch would have been delayed until 2204 at the soonest. After considerable negotiation and debate, a compromise was reached, and Ark Parchero departed the Milky Way in 2185, in the initial wave of settlers upon the command of Captain Lumont Hager. Constructed in orbit around Pyrrhus in the Asari home system Parthena, Ark Larcinia is named after a kingdom of wealth and learning in Asari mythology. She's built to the same specifications as her sister arc Hyperion, with internal modifications to accommodate Asari's social preferences and captained by Elonis Atandra. The Andromeda initiative was initially rejected as a human-driven boondoggle by many Asari investors, and the construction of the Lucinia was met with ridicule. However, the efforts drew the attention of several matriarchs who had assisted in previous attempts to send crewed missions to Andromeda, and their impassioned extranet addresses helped turn the tide of public opinion. At her departure ceremony, Ark Lucinia was officially blessed by the Atamna Politia, an organization of Ciarists, high priestesses from across the Asari republics. Ark Lucinia traveled to the Initiative rendezvous point in 2184 and left the Milky Way as part of the initial departure wave in 2185. So they've been working on this for at least over a year in the Milky Way. Ark Nantanus was constructed in orbit around Aventon, a once lucrative mining planet in the Turian home system Tribia. The Ark was named after legendary spacefarer Palix Nantanus, who was believed to be the first Turian to travel through a mass relay. The Nantanus is built in similar specifications to the Asari and human Arks, but with minor changes to accommodate her dextro amino acid-based passengers. Nantanus is captained by the renowned Dia Praeton of the Sixth Fleet. Like most economical ventures, Turian investors were turned on to the Andromeda initiative by their clients, the Volus. The Turian hierarchy was intentionally kept in the dark to keep the initiative a private, civilian project. Ark Nantanus traveled to the initiative rendezvous point in 2184 and left the Milky Way as part of the initial departure wave in 2185.
Engineering reports. Hyperion power draw is now at 100%.
Hey, you okay?
I'm fine. My arms got the brunt of it.
Stuff exploding like this happen often?
Back right after the mutiny, we had a lot of this happening. But not lately.
I wasn't there during the mutiny.
Lucky. I thought we were done with this, honestly. That maybe I was just being paranoid.
What is there to be paranoid about?
We've had 3 malfunctions in the past week.
That's not good. Sorry, understatement.
Yeah. And now I have more repairs.
Did you talk to security about this?
How can I? For all I know, someone in security is the one doing this. I've scanned all the potential sabotage areas I can think of, but I don't know who to trust anymore.
Sounds like a lot went down before the Hyperion docked.
Yeah, I guess. Wait, that's it. You can't possibly be involved in this. You weren't even here during the mutiny. Would you, if you have time? Maybe you could help me, if they start hitting critical systems.
Sure thing. What can I do?
If you could scan these other panels while I fix this one, that'd really help. I've sent the locations to your Omni tool. Just send me the data when you're done. No, I'm fine. And I don't know, it just blew up.
Find out why. Be careful.
Hello, I'm Gian Garson, founder of the Initiative. It's through your hard work that the vision of the Nexus has come to life. You and all your colleagues bind our proud new colonies together. Look around at your achievements. And if you have any questions, my door is always open.
Founder Garson's office is located at Workspace Not Allocated. Please select a topic. Viable planets capable of supporting life are key to our survival in Andromeda. The viability of a world is affected by several factors, including temperature, resources, threat levels, political stability, and so on. We have few viable planets currently within range. Resource levels are considered at risk. The selection process saw the Andromeda Initiative evaluate thousands of potential habitable planets within the galaxy. After discovering an unusually high ratio of potential candidates, or golden worlds, the Helios cluster was selected as our destination. Even at a distance, studying the light from stars can reveal much about their planet's composition and atmosphere. 7 worlds, nicknamed habitats, have the life-supporting environments and resources we need to start our new lives in Andromeda. Integration from the Hyperion is ongoing. Personnel are still restricted to operations. For initiative strategy and Pathfinder coordination, please see Director Jaren Tan. For colonial affairs or outpost status, please see Director Foster Addison. For station maintenance, please contact Superintendent Nakmor Kesh. For militia operations or Apex deployment, please see Tyran Kandros. You are Scott Ryder, salary code 19B, active Pathfinder. Your supervisor is Director Tan. Based on current staffing needs, you will be eligible for paid vacation time in 587 days.
Seriously?
Why not plan on which beautiful colony you'll vacation on while you wait?
Yay, I only have like 1.5 to 2 years till I can take a vacation. Yippee.
All personnel, be aware of any suspicious activity. Security is on heightened alert.
What am I going to do?
I know that look. The others bent your ear, did they?
Something like that?
You get used to it. Just focus on being a Pathfinder. Can't argue with results, though they'll try. Anyway, welcome to Militia HQ. Excuse the mess. This office fields militia work, Nexus security, and looking for the Tyrian Ark.
What's the word on the Tyrian Ark?
Scattered readings. Some indicate the Natanus was destroyed, others that people are alive. Who knows? If you need anything, come see me, even if it's just a vent.
What do you know about the enemies we've encountered? The Ket?
We usually see them on worlds with those alien structures. The Ket don't take kindly to anyone studying them. Not sure why. They don't talk to us. Every time we cross paths, there's a fight or they take prisoners.
Why? What do they want?
No one knows. But I've seen their weaponry and what they do to those prisoners. I want them a long, long way from the Nexus.
What brought you out here to Andromeda?
I was tired of being the good one.
The good one?
The Kandros family is old military. There were expectations, you know. Then my sister became a sculptor and cousin Irene went pirate on Omega. Everyone was proud that I stayed in service. But I kept wondering, when do I get my adventure? Jen Garson's dream was so grand, so gutsy, I had to be part of it.
Hey, we met your cousin in the Omega DLC of Mass Effect 3. First time we saw a female Turian.
You talk like you weren't part of the leadership. How did you end up commanding the militia?
I was escorting a prospecting team on some moon when those Ket found us. They penned us like cattle for experiments. I managed to get loose, snatched a gun, and freed the others. By the time we killed the bastards and headed back to warn the Nexus, everyone looked at me like I was in charge.
That sounds familiar.
The militia grew from there. Funny, once the heat is on, all kinds of people rise to the top.
Are the other Turians managing okay?
So-so. We're not good at sitting around in a crisis. Service before self gets drummed into us at boot camp. That's probably why so many of us are in the militia. We like to earn our citizenship, whatever galaxy we're in. But it's hard to focus with our arc missing.
It's rough out there. I might need backup, if you can spare the people.
I have strike teams specializing in assault and extraction. If you need serious firepower, my Apex teams have you covered. In fact, I could give you authority to dispatch them. It'll cut down their response time.
Thank you.
Our current ops are on the terminal. See if there's anything that could use a shot where it counts.
Bye, Kandros. Duty calls.
You and me both, Pathfinder.
This console reports on the militia's current strike team missions, Pathfinder. Please speak with Tyran Kandros for authorization to participate.
That's the console for our strike teams.
What are they?
Assault and extraction squads. When we need the best, I have Apex, combat experts who've signed up to defend us. Since you have a front row view of the cluster, I can give you authority to dispatch them.
I'll deploy your people carefully, Kandros.
Appreciate that, Ryder. But trust me, Apex can handle themselves. Authorization complete. Good luck out there.
Strike teams can be sent on a mission to support the Andromeda Initiative. If they succeed, they'll earn XP and Ryder will get a reward. If they fail, they'll earn only a small amount of XP and no special reward. Apex is the most elite strike team in the cluster and handle critical missions. Select a mission and press X to send Apex. Your progress will be automatically saved before multiplayer is launched. You will then play the role of an Apex operative in a small squad. Play Apex Message in multiplayer either with friends or through public matchmaking to earn strike team rewards for Ryder and additional bonuses. These missions are currently available for your strike teams. Icon describes difficulty. Read the description for each mission, the time limit to attempt the mission, reward for I'm gonna just send the strike team. 4 hours, jeez. There. Lieutenant, based on status report 16C, it seems we're no longer no closer to gaining a foothold in any sector. Without decent recon and greater intel in this enemy, I'm starting to think our efforts are futile. The risks involved and continued loss of resources and lives make it hard to justify. With morale this low, we need to scale down expectations again. Though encountering hostile species was a possible scenario, political, philosophical, and resource restraints in the Milky Way mean the Andromeda Initiative does not have a standing army and only minimal military hardware. Defense was planned to revolve around technological superiority. The Ket, however, represent a greater threat than anyone projected. The Nexus militia was formed by Tyrion Kandros after he was captured by the Ket and led other prisoners in an escape. Debriefs show that upon their return to the Nexus, Kandros and his team provided the first early warnings about the Ket, and despite counter-arguments, founded and armed a volunteer militia. Today, enrollment lists show over 300 active members and 150 in reserve, from a variety of combat backgrounds. Kandros describes Apex as the militia's long reach. Selected for exemplary combat skills and experience, Apex forces are small but elite teams that handle special operations. Most Apex members have rescinded their colonist status to focus on defense. In his screening interviews, Tyrion Kandros states he is named after an ancestor who captured a dreadnought in the Krogan rebellions, and he was expected to live up to the name. After beginning boot camp at the traditional age of 15, Kandros rose through the ranks and was assigned to Segiris 8, one of the hierarchy's counter-terrorism divisions. Persistent rumors on the Nexus claim that Kandros was sent to investigate the Andromeda Initiative when the hierarchy became suspicious about its activities. Kandros refuses to comment on former operations, citing family pressures as the reason he later joined the initiative. During the early days of the Nexus's arrival, Kandros left the station to act as protection detail in a prospecting team and was captured by the Ket. He managed to lead several other captives in an escape and returned to the Nexus, eventually founding a volunteer militia to defend the station.
It's not right. It's not fair.
What's wrong?
Oh my, you're... So it's true. A Pathfinder has found us. There's hope at last. Maybe you could help. You're impartial. This whole thing has gotten so political. My husband, he's locked up and slated for exile for a crime he didn't commit.
What exactly was he convicted of?
They don't exile you for petty theft. Well, maybe this bunch would. They say it's murder. They're calling him the first murderer in Andromeda, but the dead man was his friend. He wouldn't have... There are witnesses and evidence, but it's all circumstantial. At worst, it was an accident. His name is Nilken Rensis. He could give you the details if you were willing to speak with him. Please.
I'd be happy to.
Oh, thank you. I'm sure the jailer will allow you a visit. Please, tell Nilken I love him.
Please be advised that Hyperion docking procedures are now complete.
Pathfinder, no time for our beer yet. This place is a mess. Security is... let's call it strained.
I can believe it. The Nexus is running on empty.
Not just that. A lot of the exiles were security. Everyone was trained and armed for Frontier. We know Cat are dangerous, and now we have to worry about our people too. No idea where they went, but they left mad.
They were frustrated. If they just wanted to kill, they could have fought to the last here.
Apparently we're the big hope for everyone. Not the Hyperion showing. Just us. I'm with you. It's just... a lot.
As long as the Nexus is here, as long as we're here, we have a job to do.
Double down crisis mode. I can do that. We can do that. Ready and willing, Pathfinder. Pathfinder, I'm feeling less bad about missing a year of this. Everyone's beaten down. Nothing to do but watch the reserves shrink.
And now all eyes are on us.
All I know is, we have to fix it. It's quiet here. Still get opinions, of course. And talk to security.
What about?
Leaders, direction, lack of it. Tan is a standout, but none of them have made friends.
Who would you say is actually measuring up?
My dad would say elections were rubbish because you don't get people who could do the job, you got politicians. By that measure, I go Addison. She does not want that job. Pathfinder?
What if they store oxygen in porous tissue, like Quiro's rockfish?
I still reckon they had breather gear stowed in that armor.
Perhaps both. Life is infinitely adaptable, as our expedition proves.
Engineering reports. Hyperion power...
You must be the Pathfinder. Wonderful. You and your Sam are exactly what we need.
Thanks, Mr...
Professor Herrick, my colleagues and I will work with your Sam and the data you gather to solve Andromeda's scientific mysteries.
What fields do you study?
Herrick's into life sciences. I do planetary geology, oceanography, rocks and runoff. Aradana's the space and math whiz.
Not that we've had much to study, with everyone cooped up for 14 months.
But your data on the Scourge flows like poetry. Now we can better advise on repairing the damage it caused.
And maybe Addison will give us a real workspace. Who can think with all this racket? Pathfinder, those bioscans are superb. Could you gather more for our comparative conservation effort?
What conservation effort?
Ah, my thesis is on the console there. Broad strokes, we're comparing and preserving organisms from both galaxies. If you donate more bioscans and samples to the catalog, I can get you a finder's fee. Tempted?
Pathfinder, we've had some trouble.
Anything I can help with?
Perhaps. I discharged an away team to get readings from a section of the Scourge that was behaving anomalously. They haven't reported in for some time, and sensors can't locate their shuttle. I sent them out there. Good, dedicated people. I fear what might have happened to them.
Don't give up hope. When I'm out there, I'll see if I can find them.
Their friends and family will want to know what's happened, and I need to know. The beauty of the cosmos unfolds in your planet scans, Pathfinder. But there is more they can do.
Do you have something in mind, Doctor?
Plans for a school are underway to inspire a new generation of young minds. I want to craft a model of the cluster for them, accurate and splendid from your data. My prototype is on that console. Add more scans to improve it, and I will share my educational budget with you, and my thanks.
Hi, Pathfinder. Want to hit some rocks for science?
Absolutely. What do you need?
Sam and I used your scans and made a VI for geophysics surveys. Beta builds on the console there. Test it out in the field, and I'll wrangle you a consultant's bonus from Director Addison. How's that sound?
Since we are by definition an invasive species in Andromeda, our inevitable footprint must be laid carefully, and we must preserve anything we replace. The Healy's cluster presents an unexpected challenge. We arrived with seed archives and DNA banks to ensure preservation of the biodiversity of the Milky Way. But this cluster is scarred by the Scourge, and its unique flora and fauna are threatened by its turbulence. That too requires conservation. GSV 2031, streamlined interface with OmniTool, minimal lag. GSV 2093, tuned voice recognition to recognize both aluminum and aluminium. GSV 2105, haptic interface no longer defaults to transparent. Also resolved GSV 2027, haptic interface not found. GSV 2135, customized SAM handshake protocols. The 3 initial system models can be completed by next week. We shall see our place in the world. Orbital variance for the Nexus. It must be corrected as construction corrects our orientation. A reminder: our daughters will not know stasis, the 600-year sleeping. They will be born of Andromeda and whatever is unfolding. This cluster in its chaos was not welcoming, but it matters less what we suffer here, more what we bring.
Please be advised that Hyperion docking procedures are now complete. All personnel, be aware of any suspicious activity. Security is on heightened alert.
I'll check this out later. I will take all of this, though. I'll go talk to Cash, and then I'll probably split the video here and maybe do some side stuff on this Nexus. Cash is not here.
Be aware of any suspicious activity. Security is on heightened alert.
For posterity, in case the initiative goes belly up. The Nexus is a 4-ring circus. Don't like how Tan operates, and his disdain for the Krogan is obvious. I believe his intentions are ultimately good, but he's an opportunist who's likely to create dissent. I don't see the Nexus coming together if he's left unchecked. It's already polarizing Addison. She's taking the cue to circle the wagons. I think I can talk to Kandros about this and at least try to get the two of us more coordinated. Or maybe not. Seriously hate this kind of drama.
Yes, I know the Hyperion docking unannounced caused some switches to blow. That's fine. I don't care. We know the problem is more widespread than we thought. We're working to fix it. That's all. There you are. Hope the others haven't been giving you a hard time. There's a lot that needs doing. At least with the Hyperion hooked up and feeding us power, my team and I can get more work done.
What kind of work do you do as superintendent?
I was part of the team that originally designed and built this place. I keep the station functional, or as functional as possible, considering.
I noticed there aren't a lot of Krogan around.
Tan. Ask him why most of my people left. He'll have opinions. I can tell you this much. When the mutiny happened, a deal was made. My clan were supposed to settle matters and, in return, get more say in the initiative.
Did the deal go through?
The clan held up their part, but Tan had a meltdown when he found out we wanted more say around here. Then Addison's assistant, Spender, pretended he never made the deal in the first place. It was a mess, but I don't blame my people for walking out. We're done being used.
With your clan gone, why did you stay?
It's complicated. The station and my clan both need me here.
What sort of problems have you seen on the Nexus?
Situation's gone to shit pretty much sums it up. There's arcs missing. Some idiots tried to mutiny and take over, then more idiots offended my clan, so they left. And to top it all off, the founder of the initiative, Jean Garson, was killed.
What happened to Jean Garson?
Killed in the Scourge disaster. Her and a bunch of the other leaders. Tan might know more.
And I thought the Hyperion had it bad when we arrived. Anything else?
The outposts aren't happening because we don't have resources or people, so Addison's more uptight than ever. And let's not forget how badly the station was damaged on arrival. But that's a detail, according to some. My team and I are repairing what we can. If we don't get materials soon, things will go downhill. Fast.
When we left the Milky Way, the Krogan were still dealing with the genophage.
Right. The genophage. A little gift to our people from the Solarians thousands of years ago. That sterility virus they infected us with left most of our children stillborn. Only 1 in 1,000 survive.
No wonder your people have such a problem with Solarians.
Some wounds never heal. Not that my ancestors didn't provoke it. They did try to conquer the galaxy. The Solarians were forced to respond. And it's not fair to blame it all on them either. The Solarians developed the virus, but it was the Turians who deployed it. I'm hoping that's all in the past. Plenty of blame to go around, but Andromeda is about new beginnings. My people need that more than most.
What about the Krogan here in Andromeda?
There's no cure for it. But my clan was starting to show a mutation against the virus. A natural defense. During the trip to get here, Krogan underwent gene therapies to enhance the mutation while we were in stasis.
So you used those 600 years to your advantage. Gave the adaptation more time to develop.
Yeah. It's still early, but I think we made a dent. Our scientists say we've improved viability to almost 4%, which is a lot better than what we had. Beyond all the statistics, it means more Krogan children will live. It's the only way my people have a future out here.
Nothing more for now.
Good luck out there. My crew's working on it. We've moved the ops center to the top of our priority list.
Ooh, I got skill points. Or boost your defense up. You cost 2. You cost 2. You got nothing. Let's see, what do I want? Oof, what do I want? Let's go combat and... There. Oh yeah, you got 1 point because I can't use it. Overseer of the Nexus's initial design and construction phase in the Milky Way, Nakmor Kesh is currently superintendent of the station. She has oversight of the Nexus proper, maintaining systems, integrating any returning arcs, and continuing construction efforts. She is also considered a senior figure in Clan Nakmor, despite the departure of the majority of the Krogan from the Nexus. Kesh herself describes her role as Fixer-in-Chief. Records from the Nexus Uprising show Kesh played a key role in keeping the station operational during the crisis. Her strong management and knowledge of the station makes her an irreplaceable member of the Nexus leadership. Though minutes of official meetings suggest she and Director Joran Tan are often at odds, Kesh's presence ensures that the Krogan still have a powerful voice on the Nexus. Okay then. I'm going to stop the video here, and next time...
Showing green. Good job, you two.
Next time we'll...
myself as soon as I have a moment. Move on to the docks for now.
Next time we'll do some side stuff on the Nexus before leaving.